we have a standard for that position, regardless of who's in there. Practice, games, how we operate, what we believe in. We have a very, very high standard.
The Cleveland Browns are one play away from talking about one of these two kids starting. And the scary thing is, instead of preparing them and getting them ready to play and getting them ready to be a guy that's going to back up a 41-year-old quarterback, you play games and have them thrown on the side field.
Well, first off, they just didn't want to make a hard decision, right? Figuring out who's going to be number two is going to be a difficult decision. It would have been a much harder decision to figure out which one of those young men would start. And when you look at what the Cleveland Browns are doing, this is why people spin the block in relationships, right? You remember, hey, man, I had a great relationship with this person. Then I moved to this person and it wasn't so good.
The Cleveland Browns shocked everyone today as 40-year-old veteran Joe Flacco was announced as the starting quarterback for Week 1. And while his resume makes the decision less surprising, what really has the fans fired up is the feeling that rookie Shedeur Sanders, just 23 years old, has been overlooked despite delivering an exciting preseason debut where he completed 14 of 23 passes for 138 yards and 2 touchdowns. But an oblique injury put him on the sidelines and his chance to build momentum disappeared. Now the big question being asked is whether this move is about winning immediately or simply sticking with an older familiar option. And people are wondering if Coach Kevin Stefanski is simply playing it safe or proving that he has no real vision for the future. Critics like Garrett Bush say it looks like exactly what it is, playing around with a young player who deserves better. And it is not only the fans who see it this way, as journalists and analysts are also pointing out what appears to be a wasted opportunity to grow a talented prospect, leaving many to wonder if the Browns' quarterback approach is truly a bridge to the future or nothing more than a wall blocking it.
Is what I feel about
But that's the thing. If they don't play, Swag, how do you know? Like even if they're at practice and like Jason said, we're seeing them do well against the ones playing well in 7-on-7. It's still practice.
We're talking about practice,
but RC,
not the game.
That's the question that I'm asking.
Ryan Clark did not hold back as he made it clear that Shedeur Sanders has not been given the fair playing time he needs to prove his worth. And honestly, he is right, because how can the Browns make a confident decision about the future after Joe Flacco if Sanders never even gets the chance to step onto the field in actual games? Clark highlighted something crucial, pointing out that whenever Sanders has been tested during practice, he has shown calmness under pressure, sharp accuracy, and the leadership qualities every franchise quarterback requires, yet without real game experience, it becomes nearly impossible to truly measure his ceiling. And Garrett Bush went even further as he openly stated that Kevin Stefanski does not care about doing the right thing, because rather than preparing his young quarterback, Stefanski has left Shedeur Sanders standing with the support staff while handing important reps to 41-year-old Joe Flacco, who could derail the entire season with just one injury. Garrett insisted this is not an isolated decision, but a recurring pattern that happens time after time. And according to him, this is exactly where the Browns begin to lose control of their season once again, leaving fans asking themselves if the team has really learned nothing from the mistakes of the past.
You play games and have them thrown on the side field with support staff. This is the stuff that the Cleveland Browns drop the ball on every single time. They worry about the wrong stuff.
And Garrett is absolutely right, because this has become a clear pattern, and anyone who watched Coach Kevin Stefanski in his latest press conference could see it. The discomfort on his face was obvious, even when he mentioned the name of Shedeur Sanders. His hesitation told the entire story. Reporters pushed him hard about why he suddenly chose to start his main quarterback in the third preseason game, something he avoided completely last year, and his reply was vague at best, saying, "We do what the players need." But that is not the type of conviction you expect from a head coach speaking about the future of his team. That is not leadership, that is simply deflection. And instead of calming the situation, it only fueled the fire, because now people are wondering if the Cleveland Browns actually have any idea what to do with Shedeur Sanders, and if they truly do not, then this is no longer just a quarterback controversy, it is a full-blown leadership issue sitting right at the top of the organization.
This year would be that joint practice in Week 1. And then this year, just feel like that's what this team needs to get ready. Try to every single year make decisions based on what the guys need. So that's what we'll do.
And here lies the real problem, because Shedeur Sanders has not been given even a single genuine opportunity, no game time, no snaps with the first-team offense. So how does that reflect Kevin Stefanski's statement about doing what the players need? If the Browns are serious about developing young talent, then leaving Sanders stuck on the sidelines makes no sense at all. The fans are angry, and they have every reason to be, because the one quarterback they are most excited about, the one who truly represents the future, has not even been allowed to step on the field and show what he can do instead of building confidence. Stefanski's comments now sound like empty excuses, and instead of providing clarity, his words are only creating more confusion, more frustration, and more questions about what the Browns actually plan to do with their quarterback position moving forward.
So your quarterback didn't play?
Last year?
Yeah, Watson.
Yeah.
The uncertainty around Kevin Stefanski's decisions just keeps building, because when reporters pressed him again about the quarterback situation, his response was short and vague, saying, "We will make that call in a couple of days." But let's be honest, naming your starter on such a tight deadline does not come across as a real plan. It looks like stalling, and the fans can clearly see it. This does not feel like a genuine quarterback competition. It feels like yet another way to shove Shedeur Sanders into the background. Stefanski's unclear statements do not create belief. They sound more like delay tactics meant to buy time rather than real leadership. And in the NFL, hesitation can be just as damaging as making the wrong decision. When the conversation shifted toward Shedeur Sanders, Stefanski made it clear he does not expect Sanders to return this week. But it was not only the words, it was the tone, because instead of showing concern for his young quarterback's recovery, his delivery almost felt like a sigh of relief, and fans immediately caught that to them. It feels like Stefanski has no urgency to bring Sanders back on the field, and the reason is simple. Once Shedeur is cleared, the coach will no longer be able to avoid the quarterback controversy that is waiting right now. It looks like Stefanski is doing everything he can to stall and delay the inevitable battle between Joe Flacco and Shedeur Sanders.
Shedeur, do you expect them to increase their level of participation in practice this week?
I hope so. We really have to take those day by day, so I don't know where that ends up towards the end of the week, but I'm hopeful.
Adam Schefter gave some real perspective on why the Browns seem hesitant with Shedeur Sanders, and according to him, it all comes down to investment, because the Browns did not spend big draft capital on Sanders. They picked him in the 5th round, more of a low-risk flyer than a franchise commitment, and because of that, there is no urgency, no push to develop him, no clear plan to put him in the spotlight. Schefter explained that Sanders was never drafted to take over right away. He was seen as a maybe for later, and that very mindset is why he is being kept on the sidelines instead of being groomed into a possible franchise quarterback. But the problem with that maybe later approach is that it could cost the Browns in a major way, because if Sanders truly has the kind of talent people believe he does, then burying him on the depth chart is not just wasting potential, it is sabotaging the future. And then Swagoo stepped in with a strong counterpoint, saying, if the Browns really invested so little in Sanders, then what is the harm in giving him a proper chance, practice reps, preseason, snaps, live game action? That is how you discover whether a young quarterback can handle the challenge. He questioned why Kevin Stefanski is not putting in that effort, because even as a 5th-round pick, Sanders still represents an investment, and that alone should be enough reason to see what he can do to Swagoo. It simply does not add up. Why keep him hidden? Why waste the opportunity? In his eyes, the Browns are throwing away a chance to see Shedeur Sanders prove what he is truly capable of.
Trying to understand, because I'm with you. Why wouldn't they be competing in practice and preseason to become a starter? Why wouldn't you want, if you Kevin Stefanski, and you know that a lot of this stuff is predicated on probably your job in the next couple of years, however long you last, why wouldn't you be trying, day one, if it's Kenny Pickett, Shedeur Sanders, and Dylan Gabriel, why are you not trying to find out if they can start for your football team before the season?
So this is where everything connects, because Kevin Stefanski choosing Joe Flacco might give the Browns short-term stability, but it leaves huge long-term questions with no answers. Shedeur Sanders has the skill, the confidence, and the upside, yet he is being kept in the dark. Analysts are calling it out, fans are angry, and even insiders admit the team has no clear plan for his growth in the end. This is not only about who starts in Week 1, it is about the entire future of the Cleveland Browns. Do they want to keep holding on to veteran stopgaps? Or are they finally willing to build around a true franchise quarterback until Stefanski and the Browns prove they have vision? The cloud of uncertainty will continue to hang over this team, and the longer they drag it out, the bigger the cost will be. So what do you think? Are the Browns right to lean on Flacco, or are they wasting Shedeur Sanders before he even gets the chance to show what he can do? Share your thoughts in the comments and make sure to like this video and subscribe for the latest breaking updates and analysis because this quarterback saga is only getting started.